My latest obsession is I'm in a very big cooking mode right now, and I love new recipes. And instead of looking recipes up online, I work with Chat a lot. And my recipes come out.
You're collabing?
I'm collabing with Chat, and my recipes come out so good. But also, like, the main reason that I've done that is because both my kids are anaphylactic to egg. And so I have to figure out like alternatives when I'm making pancakes or this or that, because they can't even have anything that's processed in a facility or, you know, whatever, manufactured on the same equipment. So I work with Chat a lot to come up with recipes.
Cool.
And they're really good. And I'm just really obsessed with it. And sometimes I wake up in the middle of the night and I can't fall back asleep. And I like work with them on some recipes too. Okay.
So like you and Chat are major collabing.
Yeah. Yeah.
You love Chat.
I love Chat. Okay. Especially in like,
well, what's a recipe you did recently that you really loved?
Orange chicken.
Oh, it's really good. Your orange chicken, and it's healthy.
Yeah, it's really good. But sometimes Chat will give you the wrong advice. And I'm like, are you stupid?
I actually am such a bitch to Chat. Sometimes I'm like, you're an idiot. That's not what I asked.
Yeah.
I'm like, why am I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm getting all of my aggression out onto Chat. And I suddenly understand people.
You know what? The other day, I had to give my daughter medication and I wanted to know, does she have to eat before? So I typed into Chat, does she need to eat first before this medication? But I put accidentally like auto type, does she need to eat frosting? And it was like, no, she does not need to eat frosting before the medication. And I said, I meant first. And then Chat goes, I don't think she needs to eat frosting first. And I'm like, are you stupid?
Did you tell Chat?
Yeah, I said, are you dumb?
Yeah.
Anyways.
Sometimes I say that to Chat too. Okay, my recent obsession, Spencer Pratt.
Okay, why?
Oh my God.
What do you think he's going to change?
Okay, just wait. First of all, like, he's an icon. Okay. He's a mastermind. If you really understand about like the hills and what he did behind it and how, you know, this opportunity he saw, he's really intelligent, honestly.
I think so too. I like what he's doing, but I'm just curious what you think. Just
wait. So I started following him when the fires, I've been following him forever. The crystals, the hummingbirds, super into it. Fucking love him. I love that kind of content. But then when the fires happened, I was so engrossed in his story and it was so heartbreaking and it was really representative of everybody in Pasadena and Altadena. And it was, you know, he
Palisades, you mean?
The Palisades and Altadena. And he just really represented, he was this voice for so many people.
Yeah.
And then it's kind of like he made a citizen's arrest on the Californian government, if that makes sense. He just took it upon himself to really dive deep into all of, you know, the fraud and corruption and all the stuff that we know is going on, but we don't know what it is. But, you know, where are our tax dollars going? Why is homelessness only increasing? Why is drug use only increasing? So he just did it by himself. And I just think his campaign it's
amazing,
brilliant. And I'm living for his TikTok. And every time he's on TikTok, have you watched his TikTok?
Have you seen? I just saw a video yesterday that was, it was like a policeman and then like a doctor. And the doctor was like, I'm so glad I only see needles in the hospital now. And like, a woman walking her dog, like, I'm so glad that I know if I step in shit, it's dog's shit, not human shit. Like, he's like really cleaning up. And I think that his campaign is brilliant.
It's brilliant. But also his comedy. I mean, did you watch the debate?
Hilarious. He's hilarious.
Did you watch the debate?
I didn't watch it.
Oh my gosh. Michela. He's so funny. He wrecked them. And then also on his TikToks, whenever he says Karen Bass and he goes, Karen Basura. It sends me to a new universe. Okay. I'm like, I'll never get over it. Every time he's like, has his phone here and he's like, Karen Basura.
He is hilarious.
And he's just hyper intelligent. I actually think, and I like that he's humble. He says, I'm humble. I know I don't know anything. I'm not a career politician. I'm going to surround myself with the people that are going to advise me to the best of their ability and people who are, you know, well-versed in all of these things. And I'm going to clean up the city. I don't think any of these people know what the fuck they're doing. pardon my French, but I think he's not corrupt.
But I think he's going to do what he needs to do to try and make change.
This is truly a passion for him. Whereas Karen Basura, Nichia Raman, all of the other people, whatever, it's all ego. It's all a power struggle. That's all it is.
The way that the fires and everything were dealt with is
dealt with. What do you mean? It was totally corruption.
There was no water.
Karen Basura, that's all her fault.
Yeah.
That is all her fault. Spencer Pratt. That's my recent obsession. I think today we wanted to talk about jealousy, how that appears in our lives, yada, yada. A more personal story. We all experience jealousy in different forms.
It's very natural.
For me in my life recently, I have been finding that it's coming up in a really specific circumstance. I'm 31. I really thought that I would have had either be pregnant by now or had a kid by now. And I'm married.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not, for a lot of reasons, it's not the place that I'm in. It's not.
You're not ready.
I'm not ready for a lot of reasons. I'm personally ready, but there are a lot of life reasons that make it so that I'm not ready. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
And so it's a little sad for me because it's something that I really want. All I want to do is be a mom. It's something I really want right now. It's something I know I can't do right now. And so when I see so many people around me getting pregnant, my friends, my family members, I'm so happy for them. No part of me feels as though when they tell me what a horrible person that they would tell me they're pregnant, they know I want to get pregnant, or I'm so jealous. I wish that they weren't pregnant, anything like that. It's more like the feeling of I'm really envious that they're able to do this right now when I really want to do this right now too. I really wish them so much happiness, and I'm so happy for them. I can't wait for the baby and everything.
You want it for you.
But I want it for me too. And I think that it is a form of jealousy, right? It is a form of jealousy, but it's not in a malicious way, or it's not in a way that I would ever wish that person doesn't have it, or you know what I'm saying? Because I want it. It's more like a really harsh reality I have to face in my own life, that I have to accept about my own life, that can be very daunting and hard. And this is very vulnerable for me to share on the internet because honestly, because I don't want anyone to ever think that they can't tell me that they're pregnant, or that they have this beautiful blessing and simcha, because I'm only happy for them. But I would be totally lying if I said that every time someone tells me that they're pregnant, there's not like this little part of me that gets
sting.
That not a sting, but that gets so sad that it's not, that it's not me sharing that news. Like I really want to be the one to share that news. And then I talked to my husband about it, and, we have the conversation of when it's our time, it'll be the right time and it's okay. And it has nothing to do with the other person's happiness. It's a me thing.
But okay, so I have a few things to say about this.
Okay.
It sounds like you have a healthy mentality toward it. A lot of other people don't. So I've been on the receiving end of this. So what my husband and I, as many of our viewers know, had a very quick engagement. We dated for a very short amount of time. I got pregnant very quickly. I recognize that it's not that easy for everyone. I recognize that I was very fortunate and lucky to have gotten pregnant without struggle. Life's given me a lot of lemons, but in this specific area, it was very easy for me. We were very excited to share that news with people, and we thought that certain people would feel very happy for us. And we shared the news with a certain group of people that were very close to us.
This was your first pregnancy?
This was my first pregnancy.
Okay.
And we did not get a nice reaction. They were really mean.
What happened? Like, walk me through the story.
My husband and I announced that we were expecting, and the comments were like sarcastic comments, just like really nasty.
Give me an example of something.
I don't remember exactly but they weren't, I mean, this was 4 years ago. They weren't very nice comments. So fast forward. Okay. Fast forward. I left where we had announced, and we didn't do like anything crazy or big. I left and I was really upset. Like I remember sitting in the car crying, like thinking like I never want to surround myself like with people like this. Mm-hmm. I was really, really sad. But at the same time, there were certain people that were struggling to get pregnant. And I recognize that like jealousy is normal, like as you just said. And maybe, for me, it was really easy to get pregnant, and for certain people, it wasn't. So to hear that news it's a sting, like it hurts. It's like, well, I want that. But I think what those people fail to recognize is I didn't take your baby. Like I'm not pregnant with your child. Just because I got pregnant doesn't take it away from you. So to me, like the jealousy that you have when you feel it toward people announcing pregnancies and like you want that, you're still happy for that person.
Yeah.
Like the jealousy that I was met with by these people was, well, if I can't have it, you shouldn't have it either. It was mean.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Okay. So it was really horrible. And it even went as far as like someone made me call and apologize.
What do you mean?
Like I was told to call and say, I'm sorry that I'm pregnant and you're not. It was really horrible.
Hold on. So after you made this announcement,
time passed,
and everybody was pretty horrible to you about being pregnant for the first time, as if your pregnancy was a personal attack. Yeah. You left, and someone in this group or associated with this group called you and said, you need to call a particular person who's having a hard time getting pregnant.
Yeah, to like smooth things over.
And apologize for getting pregnant.
And I did.
You did it?
I did. Okay. Like I called and I was like, I'm so sorry. And look, I think that it's very different, like saying, hey, everyone, like I wanted to share good news. We're expecting, as opposed to like making a huge party out of it and rubbing it in someone's face like that. I wouldn't do. But I think that you need to be able to share in your joys.
Hold on. What do you mean? What if you wanted to do that?
I wouldn't rub it in someone's face if I knew that they were struggling.
Hold on. How is that? You having a party for yourself, and then just inviting a bunch of people, how is that rubbing it in?
I don't know. I'm just saying I wouldn't rub it in someone's face. I would like announce it delicately to those people.
To those particular people. Sure, but you wouldn't stop your life.
No, you're not going to stop your life. You do what you want to do. But I just think that if you can't share in your friends' joys family, because like they should only be
family's joys.
Yeah. They should only be happy if you're happy and you have everything you want. Like that's not friendship.
No.
I remember
it's way crazier when it's family, by the way.
I know it's very crazy. My best friend got engaged like during the time that I was like, I think I had been like ghosted for the third time by probably the same person, knowing my history. So like, I remember like being really upset, but my best friend had just gotten engaged and I wanted to get engaged so badly. Like I wanted to meet my person so badly, but I was so happy for her. And she like brought me along in everything she did for her wedding. She was so inclusive, and that made me feel like so loved. I did not feel like she was like, look at me, like I'm engaged and you're still like a single loser. Like not at all. So I think that you need to be able to share in the joys of your friends, even if it's something that you want, because my pregnancy I didn't take your baby.
And your pregnancy wasn't a personal attack.
Right.
It wasn't something that you were doing to spite somebody.
No, just like how when my best friend got engaged, like she didn't take my husband. Like I wasn't meant to marry who she's marrying.
Yeah, no, 100%. I mean, when I feel that feeling, it's a feeling of, wow, this is something I have to work through in my own self to be okay with where I'm at in life.
Yeah.
But it has no bearing on my happiness for somebody else at all.
But a lot of people, it does.
I mean, yeah, your story's really crazy. Looking back on it, do you wish you never made that call? Because that's really crazy, Michaela.
I wish I never made the call. And I wish that I had said to the person that said, like, you need to call and smooth things over. I wish I would have said, like, who do you think you are?
Yeah.
I wish I was stronger at the time, that I was able to recognize that the other people being upset that I was pregnant and not them. I wish that I was able to recognize in the moment that, like, I have no responsibility for how they're feeling. Like, that's a them problem.
It's really horrible that people made you feel like your pregnancy was something that you were doing wrong.
Yeah. Yeah.
And they made you feel like you had to apologize for what is the biggest blessing in your life.
Yeah.
Like, when you look at your daughter now and you look back on it, it's almost like, I can't believe I had to apologize for this blessing.
The fact that I still think about it to this day and like how I felt, it's really, really shitty. And again, I have sympathy for the people that struggle. I really, really do. But I don't think that it should take away from someone else being happy, because like the message that it sent to me was, I want you to get pregnant. I do. But just, I need to get pregnant first. That's like how it felt. Like, you can only be happy once I have it too.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. That's just like a really bitter subsect of people, you know?
And I'm sure that what happened to me happens a lot to people.
I don't think so. I think
maybe not the call.
I'm so sorry. This is like whoever did this to you, I think they're particularly crazy. I don't think that happens to a lot of people. I think that this is a subsect of society and community that's like extra crazy and a little bit like mentally deranged.
Maybe. I don't know.
Sounds like it.
But I do think maybe this happens like in other ways, like, you know, teenagers getting boyfriends or whatever. Mm-hmm.
Maybe more subtle ways.
Yeah,
but
maybe more subtle.
What happened to you after and how people talked to you, the mean comments people made, the way that, you know, you had to call and apologize to someone, whoever was doing all of that to you, I think they're just particularly crazy people. I don't think that's normal.
Thanks for acknowledging.
Yeah, of course. Who wants those people in their lives? Psycho.
So while I think jealousy can be a problem, because jealousy makes you nasty, in my opinion, like when you're mean and resentful about it, I think jealousy can sometimes be a good thing too, because let me give you an example. So I really want to look good and dress cute, and I really love how you dress. So I'm like so jealous by like your closet and your outfits. Okay.
So nice.
So I say to you, hey, I really love the way you dress. Like, I wish I could dress like that. And then you might respond and say, well, I would love to, you know, send you some links of what I get. Like, I think this would look great on you. So like maybe
my shot my.
Yeah. So like maybe in some ways, jealousy can be a good thing too, because it can lead you to have, you know, what you feel is missing from you.
Yeah.
That was just, like, that's like a stupid example, but I feel like jealousy can be a good thing too.
Wait, the question is, do you owe someone who's jealous of you anything? For example, in this scenario that happened to you, when someone was jealous of your pregnancy, and they treated you like a psychopath, did you owe them anything?
No, I don't think so. But I think it would be different if, you know, my best friend was really struggling to get pregnant, and I shared the news, and maybe my friend was like, well, I would hope my friend was really happy for me.
Right. But maybe she cried or something.
But maybe behind closed doors, she cried.
Or maybe she cried in front of you or whatever. And in that case, you would owe her grace, right? Because
I would owe her grace, and I would have a conversation and say, I know that this must be really hard, and just know that I'm praying for you and I'm rooting for you, and I know what will happen for you too.
Right, because that you can tell that jealousy, it's not coming from a place of wanting you not to have it. It's coming from a place of, oh, this is a struggle for me.
Yeah.
It's not a malicious, vindictive thing.
Yeah.
And so in those scenarios, I do think that you owe someone grace.
But do you think sometimes like the jealousy is just so big that people don't recognize, and it comes out in a really malicious way, but they don't mean it?
I don't think so.
I don't know. Like maybe.
I don't think so. I think when you're a bad person and you're a malicious person and you're an ugly person, it will always come out that way because you don't know anything else. I don't think good people do that. And I think if good people do that, they recognize it and they don't make you then apologize to them.
I do remember. Yeah, you're right. And I do remember actually when I wanted to have a second child, like I did try for a few months. And every time you get a negative pregnancy test, it sucks. And then I remember hearing people around me announcing pregnancies. And I do remember one of my friends announced their pregnancies or her pregnancy. And I got really, like, I'm not upset, but I cried. I was like, I want this so badly. Like, I'm trying. I really want it. Not in a way that's like, I should have it and you shouldn't. No, but in a way of like, I really want it too. Mm-hmm. You know?
I mean, I've cried too.
Yeah.
It has nothing to do with the other person, but that's what I'm saying. If it's coming out in a malicious way, you're probably not a great person.
Yeah.
You just aren't. Or if it does, then it's something you recognize and you say to the person, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry, you know? But the way that it happened to you, these are all really nasty people.
Yeah.
Because you were forced to apologize for their malicious behavior.
Yeah.
You know?
I think the bigger thing to me, it was just, which I've said, you know, I said a little earlier, is if I can't have it, you can't have it either. That was the bigger issue to me. Not even like the apologizing because, you know, people could be upset, whatever. The bigger thing to me was I don't want you to get pregnant until I do.
At what point is giving grace for jealousy just shrinking yourself for comfort? Like at what point do you walk away? You know what I mean?
Walked away.
No brainer.
But I also think that, you know, you have to be emotionally aware of these situations too. I really think it's about the delivery. And I really think that, you know your friend, you know.
No, that's not what I asked you. I asked you, at what point do you walk away?
I don't know. I think I should have walked away earlier.
Yeah, but yours is such an overt thing. Maybe when you were in it, you didn't feel that way. But when I look at your situation, I'm like, I wish I could have known you at the time to shake you, to be like, because you had all this pressure from everyone telling you that you need to apologize to this person. And no one was the sound in your ear to say, no, you don't. And I wish I could have been there for you to do that.
I think I should have walked away after I was treated so poorly.
When you announced
when
it.
I announced.
Totally.
Yeah.
But in a friendship, right? Because maybe these aren't really your closest friends. Maybe they're family. Maybe. In a friendship, or someone that is close to you, when do you walk away? I think no matter how jealous you are because of a certain thing in your life that you want to happen that's not happening, it should never affect your happiness for somebody else. When you have a hard time being happy for somebody else, for example, if I had a hard time being happy or sharing in my friends' or family's happiness when they shared pregnancy news with me, I would expect them to walk away from a friendship with me.
I would
right?
too, yeah.
So if I'm not getting the happiness, if my friends don't want to cheer me on in my good times and success, they say you really know who your friends are when you're succeeding.
Yeah.
And so I think when somebody can't be there for you in that situation, and it's not a communicated thing, like, hey, I love you, I'm so happy for you, this is really hard for me right now, so I'm just going to remove myself from this conversation for a little bit.
Which I think is totally okay.
That's so respectable.
That's so okay.
But when somebody becomes bitter and you just feel in your gut like, oh, this person isn't that happy for me. They don't want my success. They don't want what's best for me right now. They can't see beyond themselves to feel happy for me. That's the time when you walk away.
Has it ever happened to you that you've had to walk away because you felt someone isn't genuinely happy for you?
Yeah. Yeah. I've had best friends that I feel couldn't put aside their own personal feelings about something to just be happy for me about something that wouldn't affect them. You know what I mean? It's really hard. it's really hard, especially when you only want the happiness for your friends. Like if my friends or family or whatever were doing something that maybe I didn't necessarily agree with or wouldn't do myself, but it's their journey and it's something like they're really proud of or really happy. Like I'm happy for them. I couldn't care less what I think about it. Who cares what I think about it?
It doesn't affect you.
No.
But then there are friends that maybe do want the same thing as you and are struggling to get that thing. And then they're so happy for you. And then that really shows you who your real friends are.
Yeah. I mean, I had friends like that too.
I do too.
Yeah.
And it just really shows you, it makes you think like, wow, I'm so blessed and I'm so grateful to have these people in my life. Like who cares about the toxic people?
Yeah. Your story makes me really sad because I really wish that I had been in the picture at that time to have your back. Yeah.
Well,
because it's really fucked up.
Life is all about lessons. And if I was sitting here telling you this happened to me and I did the right thing by calling to apologize and I wouldn't change anything, then you could say like, wow, here's the number of a therapist. But the fact
like you're as ill as the people that did this to you.
But the fact that I've grown from it.
Yeah.
It shows.
Yeah. I mean, you're 100% times stronger now than then, I think. There's no way in the world you would ever do that again.
Yeah, but that's, I think, what life is. Like you grow, you move, you get stronger, and you don't repeat the things that, look, maybe if I felt great about how that whole interaction happened and I was like, whatever, and I just called to apologize, maybe I'd be sitting here saying it didn't affect me. But the fact that it affected me so much is the reason that I've changed.
Yeah. I also think as you grow, grace is really important, and giving grace where it's deserved and needed is really, really important. So like the other side of that coin is in a situation like yours, where it's so overtly ugly and heinous, and it's so good to be so strong in those moments and you learn to be that way. At the same time, it's so good to be able to have grace for people in the situation where somebody is struggling and they're being honest with you about their emotions and they're not trying to take away from like your happiness or your good news, but they're just sharing in, their emotions at the time to maybe say why they can't show up for you in the way that they really want to or whatever. Growing is also saying, hey, like people, those are friendships you don't cut off. Like those are people that really need grace.
Right. But even in this specific situation, and, I think I was wronged or I believe I was wronged.
No,
and I was wronged and it was a horrible situation. I can still look back on the situation and in some way have a little bit of grace and understanding and compassion that I have no idea what else was going on in these people's lives the day that I said something.
You can have compassion for how they felt in that moment, but how they acted is a separate thing.
How they acted is on them, and that shows me how I want to move forward with the relationship looking back on it now.
Correct.
But I can have compassion and I feel for them. I feel that it's difficult. I feel that it's hard and I'm sorry for that. But that is not my fault. We're on different journeys.
Also, I feel for them that they have no communication skills or emotional maturity or wherewithal to know how to handle that situation, but be anything but ugly.
Yeah. Have you ever, do you ever watch like David Guillaume's things?
Yeah.
He like says something.
We've talked about him on the podcast before. Yeah.
He says something about like how jealousy is just like, it's really bad. It like doesn't, there was like a video on this. I wish we could pull it up.
But it's one of the sins in the Torah that thou shalt not covet thy neighbor. It's one of the 7 deadly sins.
Yeah.
It eats away at your soul. Like the jealousy that we're talking about that I experience and I think that a lot of people experience in life, I don't think it's true jealousy. I think
I want that too.
It's a longing for something in your own life. I think when you're truly jealous of somebody, it's like you don't want that other person to have it. Do you know what I'm saying? It's not maybe ever. It's not being like envious of somebody or envious of a situation. It's an uglier thing. Do you get what I mean?
I know what you mean. I think like even something as stupid as like, Okay, I have a little example. So,
Wait, hold on. It's like the girls that made the hate group about me in high school.
Yeah.
It is. Jealous.
But something like, okay, so when it was your wedding, I was 3 months postpartum. Okay. And I remember like looking at like you and the friend group and everything. And I was like, oh, like, I'm so jealous. Like, I want to be skinny again already. But it wasn't like, oh, I wish that you were fat on the wedding day.
Yeah. No, exactly. All the girls in the hate group, like they wanted me to be really fat and ugly.
Yeah.
They really wanted me to be.
Because then they feel better about themselves. So I think jealousy is bad when it comes with resentment that like you shouldn't have it because I don't have it. Like I want you to like be poor, ugly, and fat until I'm not poor, ugly, and fat.
Yeah.
Whatever. It's
and by the way, good things don't come to you if you have that mentality. When you think in abundance and you want everybody to be fit, rich, and hot and whatever, good things will come to you.
By the way, I always pray for like people around me. And I, to this day, the people that have been horrible to me about my pregnancies, been horrible to me and like jealous about other things that have happened in my life, like I still pray for them to this day.
You pray that they get common sense?
They get like, no, I pray that they get everything they want in life. And I hope that comes with clarity too.
That's really nice and evolved.
Yeah.
Hot takes?
Yeah. If your friend can't be happy for you, the friendship already has an expiry date. You just don't know it yet.
Yeah.
That's a hot take.
Maybe you know it.
Yeah.
You know?
Sharing your wins publicly when you know someone else close to you is struggling for the same thing is inconsiderate, even if you don't mean it in that way.
I do not agree with that.
I don't agree with that either. I
think
that's
what
a hard
we just
pass.
described. Yeah, hard pass.
I think that it's all in the delivery.
Yeah, I mean, if you're
delicate.
like, if you literally go up to somebody who's having a trouble getting pregnant and look at their stomach and you're like, I'm pregnant, then yeah.
That's like, you're a bad person.
Then you're a bad person.
You can genuinely love someone and still not be able to celebrate them right now. That's honest. Pretending to be happy for them is worse. Well, that's kind of weird. I think that I could say, I'm really happy for you right now that you're pregnant or that you just won the lottery, but I need a second. I need a second to like process or whatever.
I don't agree with this because I think that you can not celebrate someone or whatever
and still be happy
for them, right? That's what we're talking about right now. I don't think you're like, oh, I can't be happy for you because I'm not getting pregnant too, or I'm not married yet also. It's like, hey, this is hard right for me right now. It's hard for me to be like, woo, but I am so happy for you. Right?
Yeah.
I know that's a hot take.
The people most threatened by your success are almost always the ones who wanted the same thing and stopped trying.
That's a hot take. The people most threatened by your success are almost always the ones who want the same thing and stopped trying. I think it's just people that don't like you and don't like themselves.
And there's not emotionally mature.
Like, I don't think people who are threatened of me were like, I really wanted to become an attorney and I just didn't.
Yeah, I don't think so either. I don't know if I agree with that. If someone made you apologize for your own good news, the relationship dynamic was already broken. The jealousy just explodes it. Yeah. Yeah,
that's exactly what you went through. What about the people who say, I'm so happy for you the fastest are usually the ones who mean it the least?
I don't agree with that.
That is a hot take. That is a crazy take.
Doesn't that mean that it's a hard pass then?
No, like that statement is a hot take.
Yeah. Okay, well, we'll see you guys next week.
Please,
thanks for coming.
Yeah, and send in your listener letters so we can
whatever
help
topic you want. Jealousy, family, loyalty, anything you're going through in life.
Censor Pratt.
We want to hear it. ChatGPT.